Imagine reaching into a jar of old coins, pulling out a worn-looking Jefferson nickel, and discovering that it could be worth more money than most people earn in a lifetime. Not hundreds. Not thousands.
Potentially millions.
It sounds impossible, yet stories like this are exactly why coin collectors across America still search through pocket change, coin rolls, and forgotten family collections every single day. Now imagine a 1969 D Jefferson nickel sitting quietly among ordinary coins. To most people, it looks like just another 5-cent piece. Nothing special. Nothing exciting. Something that might be tossed into a vending machine without a second thought. But what if that ordinary-looking coin carried a rare characteristic that transformed it from common change into a collector's dream? Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1969 D Jefferson nickel, one of the coins that keeps collectors searching year after year. And while most examples are worth only a small premium, the rarest and most extraordinary specimens have inspired stories that sound almost unbelievable. The mystery begins in 1969. America was changing rapidly. Astronauts were preparing for the historic moon landing. Television sets flickered with breaking news from around the world. Families gathered around dinner tables discussing the future. Meanwhile, at the Denver Mint, millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck for circulation. Workers operated massive coin presses day and night. Planchets moved through machinery at incredible speeds. Every minute, thousands of nickels were produced. The goal was efficiency. The goal was volume. Yet whenever millions of coins are created, mistakes can happen. Tiny imperfections. Unexpected die problems. Minting anomalies that escape detection. Most are caught and destroyed. A few slip through. And those few can become legendary. Think about that for a moment. A single second on a minting press. A tiny flaw invisible to the naked eye. A small mistake no one notices. Decades later, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums to own that piece of history. That possibility is what keeps people searching. Before we go further, let's learn how to identify a genuine 1969 D Jefferson nickel. Start by looking at the date on the front of the coin. You should see 1969 clearly displayed. Just to the right of the date, look for the small D mint mark. The D indicates the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson. Even on circulated examples, many details remain visible. The reverse displays Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. If your coin matches those basic characteristics, you've identified a 1969 D Jefferson nickel. But identifying the date is only the beginning. Now comes the part that separates ordinary coins from potentially valuable ones. Collectors pay close attention to condition. A heavily worn 1969 D nickel is generally common.
Millions survivaient de circulation.
However, coins preserved in exceptional condition become much scarcer. Imagine two identical nickels struck on the same day. One spends decades moving through cash registers, pockets, parking meters, and vending machines. It becomes scratched and worn. The other is saved immediately. Perhaps a collector placed it in a roll. Perhaps someone stored it in a drawer and forgot about it. Decades pass. When those two coins are compared today, the preserved example may be worth dramatically more. Condition matters. But condition alone isn't the whole story. Now let's talk about something that truly excites collectors. Mint errors. Every experienced collector knows that errors can transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Double strikes. Off-center strikes.
Die cracks. Die breaks.
Repunched elements. Strange surface characteristics. These are the discoveries that make headlines in the collecting community. Picture a collector examining hundreds of nickels under bright light. Most look identical. Then suddenly one appears different. Maybe the lettering shows unusual doubling. Maybe the strike looks abnormal. Maybe a die defect created a distinctive appearance. That moment of discovery creates excitement that never gets old. Many collectors describe it as treasure hunting. Because that's exactly what it is. The treasure isn't buried underground. It's hiding in plain sight. Every day, people unknowingly spend collectible coins. Every day, rare pieces change hands without anyone realizing their significance. And every day, sharp-eyed collectors continue searching. Now imagine finding a high-grade 1969 D Jefferson nickel with an unusual mint error. Your heart starts racing. You grab a magnifying glass. You compare details. You check reference materials. You begin wondering whether you've discovered something special. This is the emotional side of coin collecting that outsiders rarely understand. It's not just about money. It's about history. It's about mystery. It's about the possibility that something overlooked for decades could suddenly reveal its true importance. The best collections often start with a single discovery. One coin. One moment. One decision to look closer. Many collectors can still remember exactly when they found their first valuable coin. The memory stays with them forever. Now let's focus on specific details you should examine on a 1969 D Jefferson nickel. Look carefully at the date. Inspect the mint mark. Study Jefferson's portrait. Examine the lettering around the rim. Check Monticello on the reverse. Search for unusual doubling, strike irregularities, die cracks, or other abnormalities. Use proper lighting. Use magnification when possible. Take your time. Patience often rewards collectors. A quick glance may miss something important. A careful examination could reveal a hidden treasure. Here's another fascinating reality. Many of the most valuable coins weren't recognized immediately. Years passed before collectors fully understood their rarity. Some sat unnoticed in collections. Some remained tucked away in old jars. Some were hidden in inherited coin albums. Their owners had no idea what they possessed. That possibility fuels the dream. What if you've already seen it but haven't looked closely enough? Those questions inspire countless collectors to continue searching. Stories circulate throughout the hobby about collectors who found extraordinary coins in unexpected places. Bank rolls, estate sales, inherited collections, flea markets, forgotten drawers. The locations change, but the lesson remains the same. Knowledge creates opportunity. The more you learn, the better your chances of recognizing something valuable. That's why identification skills matter so much. When examining a 1969 D Jefferson nickel, focus on originality. Be cautious of damaged coins, altered coins, or pieces that appear suspicious. Genuine collectible value comes from authentic mint characteristics, strong preservation, and verifiable rarity. As excitement grows, it's important to stay realistic. Most 1969 D Jefferson nickels are not worth a fortune. But the rare exceptions are what keep collectors fascinated. The possibility of discovering a remarkable example continues attracting new enthusiasts every year. And let's be honest, the dream is powerful. The idea that a coin costing only 5 cents decades ago could someday command incredible prices captures the imagination. Yet rare coin discoveries have repeatedly surprised the collecting world. Again and again, ordinary-looking coins have revealed extraordinary value. Again and again, collectors who took the time to learn have been rewarded. That's why education is every collector's greatest tool. Not luck. Not guesswork. Knowledge. The person who understands what to look for gains an enormous advantage. They notice details others ignore. They recognize patterns others miss. They understand why rarity matters. And most importantly, they know when a coin deserves closer inspection. So the next time you encounter a 1969 D Jefferson nickel, don't dismiss it immediately. Look carefully. Check the condition. Inspect every detail. Search for unusual characteristics. Consider its history. Remember where it came from. Remember the journey it has taken across more than half a century. Think about the hands that held it. Think about the possibility that it survived all those years because it was destined to be discovered by someone who understood its significance. That someone could be you. And while stories of values reaching $1 million capture attention, the real excitement comes from the search itself. The hunt. The mystery. The anticipation. The moment when an ordinary coin suddenly becomes extraordinary. Every collector understands that feeling. Every collector chases that feeling. And every collector knows the next discovery could be just one coin away. So keep searching those rolls. Keep checking those jars. Keep examining those old collections. Because history has shown that remarkable coins often appear where nobody expects them. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, pulling out a worn-looking nickel, and discovering that it could be worth as much as $3.3 million. It sounds impossible. It sounds like the kind of story that only happens to someone else. But throughout American coin collecting history, ordinary people have made extraordinary discoveries hiding in pocket change, forgotten collections, and dusty drawers. And today, we are talking about one of the most fascinating coins that continues to capture the imagination of collectors across the United States, the 1970s Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this coin looks completely ordinary. Millions of Americans have seen Jefferson nickels their entire lives. Most pass through our hands without a second thought. We spend them on coffee, leave them in cup holders, toss them into jars, and forget about them for years. But sometimes, hidden among those common coins, there can be something incredibly special. The story begins in 1970 at the San Francisco Mint. During this period, the Mint was producing proof coins intended for collectors rather than circulation. These proof coins were struck with specially prepared dies and polished planchets, giving them a sharp, mirror-like appearance. Collectors eagerly purchased proof sets, carefully storing them away for future generations. But what many people don't realize is that mistakes can happen even during the most carefully controlled minting processes. Some of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history were created not because everything went right, but because something went wrong. And that's where the mystery surrounding certain 1970s Jefferson nickels begins. Imagine being a collector opening a proof set decades ago. Everything appears normal. The coin shines beautifully. Jefferson's portrait looks crisp and detailed. The famous Monticello building on the reverse appears perfectly struck. Yet hidden within some examples are tiny characteristics that separate ordinary coins from potentially life-changing discoveries. Before we go further, take a moment to think about the coins you may already own. Old collections inherited from parents. Coin jars sitting on shelves. Albums tucked away in closets. Many valuable discoveries begin exactly that way. Now let's talk about identification, because this is where things become exciting. The first thing you need to find is the date. Look for 1970 on the front of the nickel. Next, look for the small S mint mark located near the date. That S indicates the coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint. Most 1970s nickels are worth only modest premiums, especially if they are common proof examples. However, collectors search intensely for unusual varieties, striking errors, and exceptionally preserved specimens. One of the most important things to examine is the overall quality of the strike. Proof coins should display sharp details and mirror-like fields. Look closely at Jefferson's hair. Look at the lettering. Examine Monticello carefully. Every detail matters. Now here's where the suspense deepens. Over the decades, collectors have discovered coins that appeared ordinary until magnification revealed something extraordinary. A tiny doubling.
An unusual die characteristic.
A rare minting anomaly. Sometimes these discoveries remain unnoticed for years. Imagine owning a coin for 20 years before realizing it contains a rare variety. It happens more often than people think. And that possibility keeps collectors searching. Picture a retired collector sitting at a kitchen table late at night. A lamp illuminates rows of nickels. One by one, the coins are examined under magnification. Hours pass. Most reveal nothing unusual. Then suddenly, a detail catches the eye. The heart starts racing. The coin is checked again. And again. That moment of discovery is what drives the hobby. Because every collector knows that extraordinary finds often hide in the most ordinary places. As you inspect a 1970s Jefferson nickel, pay attention to the mint mark itself. Examine whether it appears normal and properly formed. Check for unusual shapes, doubling effects, or signs that the die may have carried distinctive characteristics. Next, study the lettering throughout the coin. Strong magnification can reveal details invisible to the naked eye. Professional collectors routinely inspect every letter and number because valuable varieties often announce themselves through subtle differences. Another important factor is condition. Condition can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and a coin worth thousands. Look for sharp details. Look for original surfaces. Look for strong mirror fields if it's a proof example. Avoid cleaning coins because cleaning can dramatically reduce collector value. Many people unknowingly destroy value by polishing coins to make them look shiny. Experienced collectors understand that originality is often more valuable than artificial brightness. Now consider the journey these coins have taken. More than half a century has passed since 1970. Think about everything that has happened since then. Families have moved across the country. Collections have been inherited. Coins have been forgotten in attics and basements. Some proof sets were broken apart. Others remained sealed and untouched. Every surviving 1970s Jefferson nickel carries a story. And somewhere among those stories may be a remarkable treasure waiting to be discovered. Here's something fascinating. When rare coins achieve spectacular auction results, many people assume the opportunity has already passed. But history repeatedly proves otherwise. New discoveries continue to emerge. Previously unknown varieties are identified. Forgotten collections resurface. Coins hidden for decades suddenly appear. That's why collectors never stop looking. The next great find could be sitting unnoticed in a collection assembled 50 years ago. Imagine finding a coin that experts once overlooked. Imagine receiving confirmation that you've discovered something rare. Those moments transform ordinary days into unforgettable memories. For many collectors, the dream isn't just about money. It's about discovery. It's about preserving history. It's about holding a small piece of America's past in your hands. Yet the financial possibilities certainly add excitement. Stories of coins selling for astonishing prices continue to inspire collectors nationwide. The phrase $1 million captures attention because it represents a life-changing possibility. And while not every rare nickel reaches such heights, the dream of finding a coin worth a fortune keeps collectors searching through every roll, every collection, and every forgotten box. Now let's review the identification process once more. Find a Jefferson nickel dated 1970. Confirm the S-Mint mark. Look for proof quality surfaces and sharp details. Examine the mint mark carefully. Inspect lettering and design elements under magnification. Search for unusual doubling, die varieties, or striking anomalies. Evaluate the overall condition. Consider professional grading if the coin appears exceptional. Remember, knowledge is one of the most powerful tools in coin collecting. The more you learn, the better your chances of recognizing something special. Every expert collector started as a beginner. Every major discovery began with curiosity. And every valuable coin was once overlooked by someone. That thought alone should inspire you to take a closer look at the coins around you. Perhaps there's an old collection inherited from a relative. Perhaps there's a proof set stored away and forgotten. Perhaps there's a box of coins that hasn't been opened in years. Inside could be a piece of history. Inside could be a remarkable rarity. Inside could be the discovery you've been waiting for. As the search continues across America, collectors remain fascinated by coins like the 1970s Jefferson nickel because they remind us that treasures still exist. Not buried beneath oceans. Not locked inside museums. But hiding in ordinary places where few people think to look. And that possibility is powerful. Because somewhere, right now, someone is unknowingly holding a coin with extraordinary potential. Someone is about to experience the thrill of discovery. Someone is about to learn that what appeared ordinary was anything but ordinary. It's a journey filled with history, mystery, patience, and hope. A journey where a tiny 5-cent coin can spark excitement, curiosity, and dreams of $1 million discoveries. A journey that proves remarkable treasures can remain hidden in plain sight for decades. And perhaps most importantly, a journey that reminds us to look closer at the things we often overlook. Because sometimes the greatest surprises come in the smallest packages. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.